Threat detection, top 5 tips. So you know threat detection is key to keeping your network secure. You know it's important to proactively look for vulnerabilities, understand attacker motivations, and have a plan in place to patch or fix an issue before it arises. But what else can you do? Well, in this short video, we've gathered our 5 top tips related to threat detection. Before I get to them, make sure you check out our podcast with Bruce and Roya. Roya is highly experienced in threat detection and offers really useful information and guidance. Okay, let's kick things off with top tip number 1. Awareness is key, particularly in OT setting where it's not always feasible to take systems out of production to implement patches. Continuous monitoring or firewall rule creation relies heavily on knowing what there is to monitor. Threat detection starts with visibility into everything that's on your network, knowledge about how devices are communicating, and understanding the implications of a cyber attack. Great, so once you're armed with visibility and knowledge, what's next? Tip number 2 is to prioritize. This is about managing known and unknown vulnerabilities and taking action on those that would have the biggest impact on the organization. Prioritization is particularly important with legacy systems or where there's simply no good time for a system to go offline. To help prioritize, look at the CVSS scoring for vulnerabilities. Which ones are critical right now? Which ones are actively being exploited by threat actors? So how else can you increase awareness of the threats lurking out there and protect your network? That's tip number 3. Now, while honeypots can collect a wealth of attack information, it's not always feasible for organizations to spend the time for care and feeding of a honeypot. This is why it becomes important to work with organizations like Nozomi Networks who do this all day long. Instead of creating your own honeypot, subscribe to a threat feed that will provide information on the latest attacks and where they're coming from. Threat information sharing becomes even more important when we look at tip 4, which is have a global mindset. Just because cyber attacks are taking place in a location that is geographically or politically different than your own, it doesn't mean you're not vulnerable. Everyone uses similar devices, so if a vulnerability has been found somewhere else, it could be easily replicated anywhere in the world. This is why threat and vulnerability awareness and information sharing is so important. And finally, our 5th tip is to stay ahead of threat actors. Seems obvious, right? But too often in threat detection, we're one step behind. This makes us reactive rather than proactive. We spend too much time trying to fix a problem that we may have been able to prevent altogether. A proactive approach involves staying on top of cyber attack trends and preparing for an attack before threat actors can hit. Be sure to check out our other threat detection videos on this channel for more insights. And if you haven't already, check out our other videos for useful advice on building operational resilience. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to receive regular insights and new videos. Until next time.